Hey everyone, welcome back. You ready to dive in?
Ready when you are.
Awesome. So today we're looking at AI tools you can actually use like right now.
Not just like the theoretical stuff.
Exactly. We're talking practical stuff you can use in your everyday life
To make some things easier and more fun.
to be more productive.
Exactly.
I think that a lot of people, when they think about AI, they're thinking about like the Terminator or,
It's singularity.
yeah, like this really far off stuff.
Yeah.
But there's so much you can use right now that's already baked into so many things that we use.
Totally. And it's already impacting our lives in a lot of ways. And today we're going to look at all of those different ways.
Yeah. Why don't we start with productivity? Because I think everyone
wants to be more productive, right?
yeah. Like who has time for all the things we have to do in a day?
Absolutely.
So one of the things that I think is really interesting is Grammarly.
Oh, yeah. Grammarly is great.
I feel like everyone's heard of Grammarly. Everyone knows about it. But I feel like a lot of people just think of it as like a spell checker, which it is.
Right. Like a glorified spell checker.
Yeah. But it's so much more than that because it actually uses AI to help you write better.
Yeah. Like it can analyze your tone.
Oh, yeah.
Make suggestions for phrasing.
Yeah, like to be more persuasive.
Absolutely. So it's not just about correctness. It's about effectiveness.
Right.
Like you can actually use it to improve your writing in a really meaningful way.
I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
And it's already, I think it's built into a lot of things that people are already using.
Right. Like it integrates with word processors and email clients.
Well, you might already be using it.
You might be and not even realize it.
Yeah, and benefiting from it. Okay, so Grammarly is amazing for writing.
Yeah.
What about if we're talking about like those little tasks that you have to do all the time?
Oh, yeah. The repetitive stuff.
Like I feel like so much of my day is just like the same things over and over again.
Right. And it's like you shouldn't have to do that.
Exactly.
That's what computers are for.
So have you heard of Zapier?
Zapier. Oh, yeah. Zapier is a lifesaver.
Tell me about it.
So basically, it connects all your different apps together.
Oh, okay.
So you can automate all those tasks that you don't want to do.
So like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so let's say every time you get an email, you want to save the attachment to Dropbox.
Okay.
You can set up a Zap
A Zap. Okay.
that will automatically do that for you.
So you don't have to think about it.
You don't have to think about it. It just
Okay.
happens in the background.
That's amazing.
Right. And you can do that for like all sorts of things. Like you can,
Who else?
if you want to post to social media every time you publish a blog post, you can do that automatically.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's great.
So you could set it and forget it.
Exactly.
So now your mind can be freed up to think about all the more interesting things.
Yeah, the creative stuff.
Oh. Speaking of,
Yeah.
let's talk about content creation.
Ooh, one of my favorite topics.
Because now AI is being used for content creation in ways that I just find fascinating.
Oh, it's mind-blowing.
Like Jasper.ai.
Yeah.
Have you used this?
I've played around with it.
You can write blog posts, it can write ad copy,
Social media posts.
website copy, like all these things.
Pretty much anything you can think of.
I know.
It's crazy. And it's getting better all the time.
It was actually really good.
It is.
Like scarily good.
Sometimes it's a little too good,
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Am I out of a job?
Yeah. But also, I feel like it's a really useful tool for people who maybe aren't writers.
Absolutely. Like if you're a small business owner and you don't have the budget to hire a copywriter, you can use Jasper to create some really effective marketing materials.
Exactly.
It's a game changer.
It levels the playing field. What about Canva? Have you used the new AI tools in Canva?
Oh yeah, Canva is amazing. I mean, it was already a great tool for creating graphics and presentations, but now with the AI features, it's like a whole other level. Tell me what it can do.
So you can use it to generate images from text prompts, which is just wild.
It is wild.
Like you can just type in, a cat wearing a hat, and it'll create like a bunch of different options for you.
It's so fun to play with too.
It is. And it's not just like silly stuff either. You can create some really professional looking images.
It's really amazing.
It's really cool.
What's so cool to me about what we're talking about with Jasper and Canva is that AI is becoming this creative collaborator.
Absolutely. It's like having a partner in the creative process.
It can help you come up with ideas.
Yeah, like if you're stuck in a rut, you can use these tools to kind of jumpstart your creativity.
Give you inspiration.
Exactly.
And it's not just about writing and graphic design. Now AI is creating art.
Yeah. This is one of the areas that I find the most fascinating and also maybe a little bit scary.
Like, what do you mean scary?
Well, I mean, if AI can create art that is indistinguishable from human-created art, then what does that mean for artists?
That's a really good question. Yeah. I mean, have you seen Midjourney?
I have. It's incredible.
It's bonkers.
Like, you can give it a text prompt.
Anything.
Anything. And it will create a piece of art based on that prompt.
And it looks like a person painted it.
Exactly. And not just any person, like a really talented artist.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is going to change the art world, right?
I think it already is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's raising all sorts of questions about what art is, what creativity is.
What it means to be an artist.
Exactly.
Like, are we all going to be artists now?
I don't know. It's an exciting time to be alive.
It is. But I do think it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
It's not a replacement for human creativity.
Right.
It's a way to augment our creativity.
To push it further.
Exactly.
But it's not going to replace us, at least not yet.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
So, okay, so we talked about productivity, we talked about content creation, we talked about art. Now let's talk about learning.
Okay.
Because AI is also changing the way that we learn.
Oh, yeah. In a big way.
In a big way. And, like, for the better, I think.
Absolutely. Like, one of the most exciting things is the way that AI can personalize the learning experience.
What do you mean?
So, you know, traditionally, everyone in a classroom is learning the same thing at the same pace.
Right.
But with AI, we can create learning experiences that are tailored to each individual student's needs.
So, like, if you're struggling with a certain concept.
The AI can identify that
Right.
and give you extra practice.
Oh.
Or if you're ahead of the curve.
It can challenge you.
Exactly. And it can do all of this in real time, so the learning experience is constantly adapting to the student.
That's amazing. So, like, what are some of the tools that are being used for this?
Well, one that I think is really interesting is Perplexity AI.
Perplexity AI.
It's a search engine, but it's not like Google.
Right.
It's more like a research assistant.
Okay.
You ask it a question, and it will give you a comprehensive answer,
Oh.
citing its sources.
And it synthesizes all the information.
Exactly. So you don't have to wade through a bunch of search results.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right.
I need to check this out.
You should. It's really cool. And then for younger learners,
Yeah.
there's Khan Academy Kids.
Khan Academy Kids.
Yeah. It's an educational app that uses AI to personalize the learning experience for kids.
What does it teach?
It teaches all sorts of things like math, reading, social emotional skills.
Wow, that's pretty comprehensive.
It is. And it's all presented in a really fun and engaging way.
So it keeps kids interested.
Exactly. Which is like half the battle, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with kids.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about productivity, content creation, art, learning. What about accessibility?
Yeah. AI is also being used to make the world more accessible for people with disabilities.
Which is really exciting, I think, to see.
Oh,
It's like, what are some examples of that?
Well, one that I think is really cool is Be My Eyes.
Be My Eyes.
Have you heard of this one?
I've heard of it. Tell me more.
So it's an app that connects visually impaired users with sighted volunteers through video calls.
Okay.
And so if a visually impaired person needs help with something, you know, like reading a label or navigating a new environment, they can use the app to connect with a volunteer who can see for them.
Oh, wow. So they're like their eyes.
Exactly.
That's
It's
like-
just a really powerful use of technology to connect people and make the world more accessible.
That's really cool.
And there are all sorts of other apps and tools being developed that use AI to help people with disabilities.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like AI is just impacting like every facet of our lives.
I think it is.
Everything.
And it's only going to become more pervasive in the future.
Which is really exciting and also maybe a little bit scary.
Yeah. It's important to be aware of the potential downsides of AI.
Right.
You know, like job displacement, bias, privacy concerns.
Yeah, and like making sure that it's being used ethically.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
We need to be thoughtful about how we develop and use AI.
We need to have these conversations.
Exactly.
But we can't just like bury our heads in the sand.
Right.
Because it's here. It's not going anywhere.
It's here to stay.
And it's only going to get, more powerful,
More sophisticated.
more sophisticated,
And potentially more beneficial.
more beneficial. Exactly.
But also potentially more risky.
So, everyone listening, we need to be having these conversations about how we can make sure that AI is being used for good
Absolutely.
and that it's not being used to harm people.
We need to be thinking about the ethical implications of AI.
Exactly.
And we need to make sure that everyone has a voice in these conversations.
So that's something for everyone to think about.
Yeah. Think about how these tools might transform your own life and the world around you in the years to come.
I know. It's really exciting. And I'm a little bit scared, but mostly excited.
I'm with you.
So until next time.
See ya.
Bye.